Alright, welcome Skillset Tiers to another week. This is going to be skill number 4. Let me just say I hope there's going to be more skill set and less tiers. But this is the sidestep, or how to evade your man, how to prevent being tackled, how to stay alive. It's very important if you want to beat a defender one-on-one to learn these skills. Now it's not a very difficult thing to do, guys. Let's see. See, our model makes it look quite easy, and it's because it is easy if you follow your 3 key factors right. Let's jump straight into number 1. Okay, number 1, move it a little bit forward so that we can see. Okay, number 1 is we want to carry the ball in both hands. Now, most of the time on a rugby field, that's what we should be doing anyways, because as soon as you tuck the ball under your arm, like you're carrying a teddy bear to bed, the defender knows you're going to want to fend them off, because you're putting the ball in one hand, kind of the hand where you want to hide the ball, and now your other hand is free, so obviously you're going to want to use it. But if you carry the ball in both hands, the defender has to guess. What are you going to do? Are you going to sidestep? Are you going to pass to the left? Are you going to pass to the right? Are you going to offload? Are you going to kick a grubber through? The defender simply does not know what you're going to do. So please, guys, learn to carry the ball in 2 hands, and that then is our key factor number 1. Key factor number 2, if you're American, you're going to say you gotta lie with your eye. If you're Irish, you might say you gotta lie with your eye. Either way, you have to use your eyes to create the illusion of the direction where you're going. Let me show you how that happens. There's an eye. As you can see, our ball carrier looks straight in that direction. This means our defender, who always looks at the ball carrier's eyes, is naturally going to come towards this direction, because everything in his body language, from his shoulders to his eyes, suggests he's going to run this way. So naturally the defender wants to come this way to make the tackle. Does that make sense? So in other words, everything in his body language said, I'm going to go to the left. That pulls the defender in, but voila, he doesn't go to the left, he goes to the right. Okay, so there's a kind of a wrong perception that we sidestep using our feet, that we have to do all kinds of funny dances and goose steps and these kind of things to step a man, that we use our hips. Yes, some of these things are true. We're gonna build on that later on in your rugby career, but for now the most important thing to remember is A, carry the ball in 2 hands. That confuses the defender. 2, play with your eyes, because that pulls the defender in a certain direction. And then we get to factor number 3, is a trigger movement. Now, I don't know how to best describe to you guys a trigger, other than to say it's a bit like a fish in a pond. Okay, you know how a fish can kind of swim nice and calm, as if nothing disturbs him, and at the slightest shake of his bowl, whoop, he smacks to the side. Okay, let me show you that again. Little fishy swims, fishy swims, fishy swims. Whoop, suddenly he changes direction. So this is very easy. Key factor number 3, when we look to the right side of where we're going to run, we automatically turn our head, don't we? Because we've been looking this way, suddenly we look that way. Now add to that mix a slight bit of acceleration. So you kind of run a little bit slower when you approach, you look this way, and as soon as you turn your head, you run slightly faster. What that creates is a trigger, and that trigger moment gets your defender off balance. He kind of looks, what are you going to do? I'm not kind of sure. The guy has the ball in both hands. I don't really know what he's doing. His eyes showing a direction, so I'm going to go in that direction. And boop, in that minute when you suddenly accelerate and you have that trigger movement and you look the other way, then he's totally wrong-footed, as what happened there. Can you see? He almost looks foolish. And often in rugby matches and pro games where a guy is properly stepped, the defenders kind of stand there looking foolish, and the commentators will say he still doesn't know, 2 days later, which side the guy ran past. But it all started with the eyes carrying up. It all started with carrying the ball in both hands. Sorry guys, I'm on the correction. Secondly, loy with the oi, and then thirdly, that strong trigger when you step. Okay, Let's have a look when things don't go to plan. When someone doesn't do these things right, let's have a look here. Number one, he looks in, I want to see where he carries the ball. See, now firstly, carries the ball in one hand. He's carrying the ball in one hand only. Okay, so the defender kind of already knows he's not really going to pass the ball. Secondly, he looks in this direction there. So according to skill set rules, he has to step that way because he's luring the defender this way. Can you see how that happens? Now, let's see. No, he steps to the wrong side. So he steps in the same side as where his eyes were looking. That made it too easy for the defender to know, look, A, he doesn't carry the ball in both hands, so he's definitely just going to run with it and try and fend someone off. B, he's looking to the right hand side, but he's also stepping to the right hand side. So you make it too easy for the defender to commit to that side on the tackle, and we can't even get to key factor number 3 of the trigger. Alright, so just back to our video where things made a little bit more sense. Key factor number 1, carry the ball in both hands. Number 2, lie with your eyes, so create the illusion that you're going to go one way and then you go the next. And then third, that trigger, change the direction of your neck and your eyes to look to the other way, and suddenly accelerate that little bit to create the trigger and wrong foot the man. This was great fun, and this is probably the skill that's the most fun to train as well. Let me show you what you can do. Again, tree, drum, doesn't really matter what you use as a defender. You're going to make yourself a little mark there. Maybe put a picture of something you like a little monster, or put your Fortnite game there, or your Xbox, or something that usually gets all your attention and your focus. Put it on the floor there, and then you look at that, and in that last minute, remember to run a little bit slower and then suddenly trigger to the other side. And I think on this side, you can put something like something that suggests a target, like a chocolate bar or slice of bread or something that's a target that you want. Okay, so you're going to want to practice a couple of times where you step to the right hand side and a couple of times where you step to the left. But remember, carry the ball in both hands. Key factor 1, key factor 2, lie with your eyes. Key factor 3, that strong trigger when you step. I hope you're going to have as much fun doing this skill as I had making this video, and I'll see you guys when we write the test. Cheerio.